since we're talking Friday the 13th,
Right.
we wanted to count down the top 5 best deaths in the Friday the 13th series.
Yes.
This is an incredibly difficult topic for us.
Right.
So many movies. Each move, I mean, we could probably do a top 5 kills for
I
each
almost
Friday the
said
13th.
you want to just do that, but I didn't plan for it, so let's not do that.
But in lieu of that, let's call this part 1 of the best deaths in Friday the 13th. And as needed, we may need to add the next best 5 and the next best 5. I forget the number now. I looked it up on like moviebodycount.com, but what Jason has like 130 kills.
It's
under his
hard
belt?
to say because again,
In any event, there are a shit ton of deaths in the
Fucking
Friday
A,
the
there
13th series, and we are each going to hit you with our top 5 personal favorites. What should I kick off this week?
Yes, kick it off. Number 5 from Nate. Top Friday the 13th kill is.
This is actually not even a murder perpetuated by the real Jason. It comes from Friday the 13th Part 5.
Ah, see, there we go.
Miguel Nunez, trapped in a porta potty.
Really? Okay.
With the crowbar being shoved through every side.
Interesting choice.
For whatever reason, that's my favorite kill in this movie. Which
really?
May have the highest body count of any of the individual movies.
It does.
Because everybody gets offed in 2s and 3s.
Yeah, technically it does, yeah.
And and it may partially be that I like that actor so much.
That's what I almost was about to say. I was
From
like,
Return
is it
of the Living
because
Dead?
it's Spider?
Yeah,
And
I love that guy.
The other thing is he's such a shining light in that movie. Him and his girlfriend.
He has personality for days.
That's one thing I will give that movie is like I like it more and more every time we talk about it and I see it. But the movie has these weird shining lights. But Miguel Nunez and his girlfriend show up and they're like, they're way too good for this movie. Like they're so they feel like they exist, that they have existed, and that they would have continued to happily exist if it wouldn't have been for. So you actually feel something for them more than you really have for. And maybe it's just because they're so charismatic, but I think it was almost more that it's like.
It's one of the rare instances in the entire Friday the 13th franchise that you actually feel something for the victims.
And I just, personally, I love, and I was so upset, I thought it was a song for real. And I was like, I went to look for it one day, because I get stuck in my head all the time. They're just little melody they sing back and forth to each other. And I was like, oh, that's not a real song. They just made it up in that moment, because they're that awesome, and we're like, that comfortable on scene. Great scene. So, maybe I wouldn't agree that it's one of the best kills, but I will agree that it's one of the best scenes.
Okay. Your number 5.
Oh shit, where's my list? I am going to pick for number 5, just to get this one out of the way, the sleeping bag from 7.
Damn.
Specifically, it's almost to set up the idea that I like JasonX's kill better because of the joke on this one.
Yeah, because it's a callback.
And so it's almost, when I say this, my number 5 is technically from Jason X. But I couldn't say that without, of course, talking the Godfather of it first. But just when it cuts back to him and he's beating one sleeping bag with another. And again, we get into technicalities. It's virtual reality, so does it count as a kill? Fuck you, that shit was classic and made Jason X worth watching. And I absolutely love that. That was one for the fans. I laughed out fucking loud. Great kill, great joke. Thank you guys for that one. Loved it.
My number 4 pick, also from Jason X, the face getting put in liquid hydrogen until it freezes and then smashed on the edge of a sink. He shatters somebody's head, and then liquid gore and brains comes out from behind the icy flesh. Mm-hmm. A one-of-a-kind kill for the franchise. It's always a plus, especially in your 10th movie, when you can make me say, holy shit, I'd never seen that one before.
Right. That kill specifically, this is how badass that kill is Tarantino makes lists all the time, and they were like, somebody asked him, what are your top kills in movies of all time? He could only name 3, and that was one of them.
Nice.
And the other ones are like Yojimbo, blah. You know what? Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. Jason X, he's like, that shit fucking rocked.
Well, I guess I'm in good company with my pick then.
Okay, so my number 4 is from Jason Goes to Hell, the tent slit naked chick.
Oh, nice. With
Yes.
it's a piece of rebar, I think, right? Something like
It's
that?
the camping setup spear thing.
Sign, yeah.
If you haven't seen Jason Goes to Hell, or if you've only seen it once, this is just my opportunity. Another shout out. Watch it again, because it's so many kills in that, and every kill is very imaginative, and the whole movie just has so much fun. Please watch Jason Goes to Hell again. If nothing else, this is an amazing, amazing death sequence.
All right, my number 3 comes from Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, when Jason lops off 3 heads with one swing of the machete. Previously unseen triple decapitation.
Yep.
Like, if cutting off people's heads was an Olympic event, Jason just won the gold.
Like we've mentioned it before, I love they added in those like comic booky things that he swipes towards the lens and it gets splattered with fake blood and shit. I love 6 so fucking much.
Yeah.
My number 3 is from Part 6 also. Is the chick in the RV.
With her face through the wall?
Yeah.
You know, the whole RV scene is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the image...
Well, all of 6 really is phenomenal. I rewatched 6 recently, and it really is too much fun. I've always stuck by the term that even if you don't like Friday the 13th, you'll like this movie, so I watched it under that context again, and it's fucking so much. That guy should be making.
If you haven't seen Part
movies.
6, what we're talking about is they're in an RV, and Jason smashes this girl's face into the side of the RV so hard that it
cuts to a shot outside of the moving RV.
That just like this indentation of her face just appears in the steel.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It really is awesome. The other thing that makes that even more awesome is the wall that she gets thrown into that pushes her face has a mirror on it, which they don't show that, but she had to break through a mirror first, and then and it's so cartoonish and just so like full of personality.
Yes, and it works.
He created the face on Mars, you know, on the side of an RV. Awesome kill, a lot of personality.
Yeah, and I always it actually isn't reflected a lot on my list, but Jason's a brute. He's a giant of a man, so I like when he uses brute strength.
Right.
Smashing people's heads against stuff. You know, he should use that more. It's playing to his strengths.
Right.
All right, so we're up to number 2. This comes from Friday the 13th, Part 3. To set the scene, this idiot who likes to walk on his hands is walking on his hands down a hallway after just having sex.
Right.
And he bumps into Jason, who cuts him in half lengthwise down the middle, starting at the crotch.
Right.
Even with a super quick cutaway, it's just an awesome kill. I mean, I love that death. And if part of me wishes that it's a longer, like more gross shot, but that would also take away from the impact of it.
Yeah.
But it is a great holy shit moment and a terrible way to die.
That showed some really fun cinematic trickery again, that they shoot through the floor. So they had him do it on glass, so you see the shot happen upwards towards him, and it is just fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's memorable.
Yeah, 3 is a piece of shit, but 3 has great kills, and he gets the mask, and it's the only one that's I would say.
I mean,
like,
there
really,
was
like,
one where it
scary.
would be really easy to do a top 5 kills just from Part 3, even though it's garbage.
Because it was made for 3D, so they really went for it. And here we're getting into number 2 and number 1, and these kind of possibly a little slick on my part.
Okay.
So, number 2 is so far the only kill that hasn't been Jason's. You got to credit it to Tommy Jarvis, Corey Feldman, Jason's own death in Part 4, the final chapter where he gets whacked in the side of the head with a machete and then slides down.
The machete sticks into his skull, jutting out of his eye socket.
Yup.
And he just hits the floor face first and just slides down.
Yeah, he hits the floor face first. If the machete wasn't in his face, so it hits the hilt and slides down it.
Yeah, and it's this incredible Tom Savini practical effect where his face, his other eye is twitching,
moving, and his tongue's coming
and Jason
out.
is reacting to his own death. That's what gives it such extra kick.
Yep.
And it's one of the best individual special effects, I think, of the entire series. You know,
possibly all time.
Yeah, that is That's a good call. And it's easily Jason's best death.
Right. Jason's died a lot, and you never really want to see Jason die. But you got to give them credit that when they decided to kill him, well,
for the first time,
they know,
yeah.
They did it in a truly epic way. It was a Jason-worthy death. Side little note, we might have to delete this. I will talk about it afterwards. Just remind me about Jason deaths. And that'll be our little side note thing. Because we're not doing honorable mentions or anything.
No, because we would be here all day. There are too many.
Yep.
So that brings me to my number one pick. Pretty easy. I guess it's kind of obvious. If I ever get money, I'm going to commission a painting. And the painting will be of this death. Which is wheelchair guy.
Right.
Getting the machete across the face and then rolling backwards down the steps through a rainstorm.
Right.
It's not the bloodiest kill by a long shot.
No.
But it's visually so effective.
It's not even so, like, stylish. It's just, it's striking imagery.
Yeah. So, if there are any aspiring oil painters out there that are willing to work for cheap,
boom,
I would love, like, I would love a huge painting of this death.
You hear that, motherfucker? Well, what part of that death?
Well, I mean, they would have to capture the essence of it. So I guess the machete in his face as he's rolling, you would have to capture the
Or
the
do an
rain.
Andy Warhol type thing where it's 4 separate pictures and it's like going down, goes up. Because that's shot on the stairs is pretty fucking epic.
Yeah, definitely.
So, my number one pick for the top kill in the Friday the 13th series is Freddy Krueger.
Okay.
Fuck that guy. Just in context of Friday the 13th, how awesome is that it's like, I kind of didn't think about that. But Freddy Krueger is a death in the Friday the 13th series.
And I totally accept that because I've actually debated this with people before. It's nebulous enough, but Jason wins the fight.
Absolutely.
Jason wins the fight.
And it's not just me being a Jason fan.
No. Because you're a huge Freddy fan, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it technically, he won.
He won that fight.
And the one thing that does suck about this is, and I don't even understand why the movie did it. I do, but it should have been vetoed as an idea. That the girl delivers the killing blow by cutting his head off or whatever. That's fucking stupid. But whatever. It's a kill in the Friday the 13th series, and he wasn't going to walk away from that one anyway.
Nope.
Any more than he's unkillable in the first place.
Right.
So, Freddy Krueger. And I'm going to credit it to Jason just because, like I said, and we'll get into this right now because fuck it, is he's the victor and he dealt so many he ripped off his arms. What else did he fucks him up?
Overall, I'm not a huge fan of Freddy versus Jason, but their fight at the end, I love it. It's like 20 amazing minutes.
Right.
Or however long it is.
And that was the really cool thing that Ronnie Yu did. It was like, how is that going to be interesting in the way that it's like they can't kill each other? So what they did is they gave gorehounds what you want and never get to see. That someone can take ridiculous amounts of damage and not go down. So it's like you get arms ripped off, you get needles or the things in the eye. You get so many like good hits, and they hit and they hurt. Still, it's just like, it is a fucking brawl like we will never see.
Yep, we will never see its like again.
And it was like, I was hoping almost like Ravenous sets itself up that it could have done that epic of a fight, and it kind of half-asses it in a way. But I really like Ravenous. It wouldn't have fit in Ravenous.
No.
But it still would have been cool. It would have been like, that was really cool, but
Freddy vs. Jason, it takes it to that comic book level.
Right.
And that's why it excels.
But yeah, Freddy Krueger. Boom.
Good pick. And all of our picks today were damn good.
Right.
Now,
you can turn us all off now if you want to, or stick around for these last two nerd discussions.
If you are going to be so rude as to leave us, check us out on Twitter or Facebook at FrightFlix. Now, you were saying.
Yes. And just so you know, technically, this is going to be, you'll have to click on something else because people don't click on things that are 25, 45 minutes long. So it'll be a separate thing titled Nerd Rants from the Friday the 13th series.
Okay, I like that.
Separate video. Click on that now.